Hello there, everyone. Oh, I think I'm a little louder than usual. Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Jozeevis Plays Their Backlog. My name is Jozeevis. We're gonna play my backlog. Okay, wait, this is... Okay, this ain't working. Sorry, I have a new headset on and I can hear myself less clearly than before, so I'm probably speaking a little louder. Just... There we go. That should be better. Okay. Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to be playing once again. That didn't work. Damn it. I tried to give like a hotkey to switching to this scene so that the game would have minimized because it's still doing that apparently. Clearly that didn't work. Is the music playing? Oh yeah, it is. No, okay. We're good. We are good. But yes, today we are once again playing Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. So, yeah, you know, let's just get right into it. Once again, I have actually no idea where exactly we left off because I didn't check the VOD from last time. So I guess we'll find out. I know a bunch of bad things happened last time, so... Yeah, well, that's one of them. I woke up in my bed in the B&B and for a moment thought the whole werewolf business had been a dream. Then I looked at Anya's empty bed, exactly how she'd left it in the morning we went to see the protests. She was dead. The reality of the situation hit me. Anya was dead. I'd killed her. I had to clean up my mess. I packed her things, We can be anxious about this. I mean, this is a heavy moment. Looking over my shoulder, I packed her things. I ran the plan over in my head. The plan was bulletproof. What plan are we talking about? Maybe this will actually tell us more about the plan. Just hoping for that. Ran the plan over in my head again. I had to check his boat out. Then Pat had promised to take care of the rest. She said she'd use her favors with some network spirits and hack Anya's phone. It would log into some towers in Germany and the Netherlands, ping the social network a few times. Before anyone noticed anything was amiss, there would be nothing to tie the disappearance to us. Damn, that's brutal. Oh yeah, Pat was ready. Well, we could see this. I remember. Pat was the one that was... German hacktivist, the colonel's friend, small young woman dressed in black and with disheveled bleached out hair, a werewolf. They're all werewolves. That's kind of the name of the game here. But yeah, she was part of like tribe, I believe. That was very, what do you call it? Adjusted to technology and the like. It's okay. Yeah, my hands are trembling. I took a deep breath. Yeah, maybe not like fully rage ourselves out right now. Take a little willpower. Breathing deeply, I cleaned the room. I looked in the mirror. What had I become? Didn't know how to answer. Shrugged. Whatever the answer was now Maya the werewolf's problem. Maya the student was dead. Took my bag and left. Everything according to plan. I dropped my bags in the camp and ran through the plan one more time. They expected me to act like a church. Should have looked that thing up. So yeah, these were both born on the crest of the moon are mystics and seers, dealing with spirits, interpreting visions and omens. Yeah, so that's basically our class? Is that like a name? Our auspice, of course. Sure. So, Turge, spirits, rituals, Philadox, justice, retribution. What the hell is that? Oh. Thank you. Those born on the half moon embrace balance between wolf and human, fury and wisdom, and act as judges and law keepers. Wait, but Ragabash, those under the new moon are cunning tricksters and unconventional tacticians, questioning tradition. In order to find the wisest path. Oh right, they activate the they expected me to act like a Turch, but we'd also discussed other plans, both more mundane. So this is basically our choice of like, are we actually going Turch and going full on spirit mode, or are we going to do? How are these more mundane though? Judges and lawkeepers? Tacticians and tricksters? I mean, those sound pretty interesting as well. I mean, I do feel like just leaning into the Turch because, well, first of all, it is our first playthrough, so I kind of feel like leaning into basically the path before us, see where it takes us. And also, the way I've been playing, I've already also been leaning into the whole spirituality side of things, so could be good. Also, I just realized. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Hello, hello? Okay, well that didn't do anything. Oh, okay, no. I just realized that, as I said, I have a new headset because my old one was broken, and this one actually has like an entry for like an audio jack that the previous one didn't have. And there was a thing on my, or there is a thing on my microphone that you can use it as like an audio jack output and put it straight into your microphone or in your headset, so you can like hear yourself talk. So you know, you don't know what I do and talk way too loud. But that's not working, so could have figured that out before the stream, but I didn't even think this was a possibility until I noticed the like audio jack cord lying there. So anyway, where were we? Turch. That's what we're gonna do. Gonna lean into the spiritual side of things, because also it's probably going to be a little psychedelic, and I'm gonna be very interested where this takes us. I needed to talk to the spirits of the forest, and for that I needed Lisa's help. Until I came along, she was the only shaman in the two packs, so she was happy to finally have an apprentice. Who is Lisa again? Lisa. Olga's girlfriend. Alright, that's the one that we... born in Russia of Belarusian Buryat descent. She was in Poland illegally. Right, yeah, I remember her. Before I could face the spirits, I had to attune to the Pushcha and learn the proper rites and means of addressing the spirits. Okay. Use the spirits to stop the logging, makes sense. After a few days of camping in the forest, fasting and meditating, Lisa said that I was ready. The spirits of the forest were waiting. That's relatively quickly to learn the ways of the forest. The sun was setting. We stood in the middle of a clearing and waited. I was nervous, I chanted the proper words, or I spilled my blood. We have full health, so I kind of feel like I spilled my blood might be fine. I am a little, like, I want to keep our rage kind of in the middle, not go too all out with that. I chanted the proper words does sound like the one that I like, the option that I like the most. But yeah, our willpower is also, you know, we're taking some of that away, and I don't know how much we'll get back. You know what? No, I am just going to go with my god, the thing that I think is the best. See, yeah. Called upon the secret names of the forest, and we waited. First there was a murmur and a whisper among the trees, a rustle of the leaves in the quiet windless night. I looked up or I closed my eyes. We closed our eyes before and then we went on that like whole like kinda dream with the wolf, so I feel that. I closed my eyes and the smell of feathers in the night washed over me. Something whispered inside my skull. A voice like small claws scratching bone. What do you want? It asked. I wanted justice. Send the wind and send the rain, O great forest, I chanted. Drown their machines in the mud. Break the dead trees so they fall on their heads. We want justice. The rustling continued and the scratching became almost unbearable. Yes, whispered the voice inside my skull. But there is a price. I was ready, I didn't know what to expect. We're ready. That's, you know, I don't know what to expect, but we're ready for it. I'm ready for anything, exactly. Hunt us, young one, and find us and catch us. Then we will help you. Then the presence was gone. Lisa looked at me. This is what you've been training for, she urged. Hunt. I think changing is probably good, like changing into a wolf so that our senses are a little bit better. Oh, but what form? Okay, wait, let's actually like look at the descriptions. Strong enough to lift heavy things without breaking a sweat and intimidate, that's not the way to go. War form, ruthless killing machine, nothing subtle about it, definitely not. Monstrous wolf, smart, fast, heavy and absolutely scary, maybe? It's a wolf form, majestic animal with all of its advantages and limitations. Looks great on camera. So I still find that last sentence funny, like, will that ever come up? A monstrous wolf, smart, fast, heavy, and absolutely scary. I think Hispo might be the way to go. Just like wolf, but also like a one step further towards humanity, so we can also use like our like those instincts for the hunt. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hispo. My spine cracked and twisted, my knees and ankles broke and I fell on the ground. My jaw shattered and rearranged itself. My skin was rippling and sprouting fur. I howled. When I rose, I was more than a wolf, scary and monstrous, with strong paws, mighty jaws and a mane of fur. Let's sniff the air. I was on all fours, my nose full of scents. My ears full of noises. I turned my head left and right, sniffing the air. There. I caught the scent and jumped towards a shape that emerged from the nearby bushes. Bushes, loyal. It was a stag. Pretty and light. A perfect vessel for the spirits. It stood there for a moment, and then it caught my scent and bolted. Fucking ran after it. The stag was fast, but I was faster. I smelled its fear and heard its hooves beating the ground. With every pounce, I was closing the distance between us. I was getting closer, or I focused on the hunt. What's the difference? I mean, I feel like focusing on the hunt, you know, is definitely good, but I don't think how this is not, like, doing the hunt. So I'm just gonna go there. I could smell its sweat, hear its heartbeat in the darkness. I lunged forward to catch the prey. I was not letting my prey get away, or I pushed myself to the limit. Let's push ourselves. Feel that. My muscles and lungs burned. It's almost too easy. I was not letting my prey get away. Let's not go full rage. So, almost too easy. I launched from the ground with my hind legs and landed on the stag's back. The hunt was over. I killed the prey or I held the prey down. I actually kind of like holding it down. It's gonna take more willpower again, but... Just to kind of like show that, you know, even though we are for the hunt, we're not like completely at the mercy of our wolf senses. I changed to get a better grip. This will probably turn us into, yeah, the near human form. Labro. My muscles spasmed and rearranged. Okay, I'm not gonna read this out every time. Like, if you do want to read it, go right ahead. But if somebody gets, if somebody doesn't want to hear about all the like body shifting that's happening, fully understandable. Panting and whimpering, I changed. I was more than human, wolfish, strong, scary. I pinned my prey to the ground. It went limp and then started struggling again. And I realized that the spirit I was chasing was already elsewhere, but it was too late. Something moved behind me. Something big. Oh, that's a dope picture. I changed, I attacked, or I turned around. Changing might take too long, but attacking in this form is obviously not the best. I'm gonna turn around, just see what it is first, and only then change. It might be, like, nothing actually bad. I gulped and slowly turned around. At first I thought it was a bison standing there with his head lowered. But then it straightened and stood its hind legs. Ivy was wrought around its arms, and its eyes were dark and wise. Maya, it said in a voice so deep it shook my bones. I can't do that. It's you. I attacked, I bowed, or I touched it, and the hunt was over. That will take the last of our willpower. And that will be... When your willpower goes down to 0, you are impaired and unable to perform hard mental and social actions. It's talking to us, so like I don't want to spend that last of the willpower, so I'm gonna bow instead of attack. That's Pusha incarnate. I caught your servant, I said, and now I'm at your service. I have a plan and I need your help. I was pushing my luck, or I hoped it would work. This sounds like a bit of a turning point. And if we do this, the forest will probably help us to actually stop the logging, which is our goal, which gives us willpower back. So I hope it will work. So we are impaired right now. Technically I hadn't caught the spirit, but I hoped it would work. The bison laughed and it was like a gale, like a forest fire, like a flood wave on a river. It washed over me and I stumbled back and fell. The sky was full of light. I'd never seen so many stars before. I rolled on the ground and stood up. The spirit was looking at me with its dark, inscrutable eyes. You fought well, it said, its voice like a clamor of birds now. We will help you. Bow again. Cool. Thank you, I said. When I looked up, the spirit was gone, but I knew the Pushcha was watching and waiting for my sign. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're back to, like, Homid. I couldn't wait for the SAP meeting that morning. Closing the deal with the spirits was my rite of passage, and I knew that I did great. I was unstoppable. Getting a little ahead of yourself there. I don't feel it about that great. I felt it went good, like we got what we wanted, but the no willpower part is also scaring me. And we're also pretty high in rage, which might also not be that good, but we'll see. We met soon after sunrise on the same clearing where I woke up for the first time as a guru. Lisa looked at us all and smiled. Our patrons were looking at her expectantly, so she stepped forward towards the center of the clearing. I am the Turge of this set, and I'm here to make sure we do things the right way. She turned to me and I held my breath. Maya, come forward. Are you a cub who seeks recognition as an adult? She knew that already, I answered. What? Just answer. Just yes. I am, I answered solemnly. Are you an applicant to a tribe? Lisa asked again. Confirming is the only way to go? Who speaks for the cub? Asked Olga, stepping forward. I do, Lisa answered. I'm Zoya of the Siberak, Turge of the Morning Wolf Mother Pack. I observed the cub on her mission and I'm here to tell the story. Zoya, really? Would I have to take a new name? Secret names? Cool. Okay, this is a dorky answer, I'm not gonna pick that. This is just a rude answer, Zoya has a cool name, so let's just go straight down the middle. I guess they all had secret werewolf names. It made sense, new life demanded a new name. Would I also have to take a new name? Has the cub passed her challenge? Asked Olga. Olga just asked who speaks for the cub, and Lisa said yes. So we're not gonna answer. We're gonna hold our breath. She succeeded, was the answer. The challenge was hard, and she overcame it. Lisa turned to me. Have you chosen your name? Lisa turned to me. My new secret name. Why did nobody tell me about this? I would have preferred to have some thinking time. I suck at names. Suddenly I remembered my grandfather talking about his old friends. They never used their real names. They were always Thunder or Grey or Needle. I'd always thought it was a gorilla thing, some kind of war names. Now, I wasn't so sure anymore. How to capture my whole life, my aspirations, my personality, my heritage in one name. I cleared my throat. Mist, a name with more than one meaning. Wichura, which was Polish for gale. Pine, a tree in the forest. Falca, which was Latin for a female falcon. Okay. So, like, mostly we are a church and we've mostly been playing on spiritualism. So something like falcon doesn't feel that spiritual to me. Pine, tree in the forest is alright. It's also a little boring, to be honest. You know, let's also take that into account. So, mist or Wichura. I also just like the Polish of this, but also our character isn't, well, I guess, like, the heritage is from Poland, so maybe? Mist, a name with more than one meaning. What can we see in mist? What's that to mist? Something like inscrutable? That you can't quite, like, get to? Can't quite, well, you can see, but, something that you can't quite catch either. I feel like there's ways to interpret it that I like, and there's ways to interpret it that I don't feel fit our character. So, in the end, I am just going to go for the name that I cannot pronounce. Wichura, a gale, I answered, thinking about the wrath of the forest spirits, unseen and yet impossible to ignore. I like that. As for the tribe, choosing the tribe was another matter. I wanted to be a Black Fury, I wanted to be a Child of Gaia, I want to be a Glasswalker, I want to be a Bonar. Okay, I don't actually remember what these names were. Shit. Oh, wait. Okay, no. So yeah, Kim is part of the Bonas. I knew that because that was the tribe that was trying to what do you call it? Like protect everybody. Like that's basically of lower standing, like including humans, and that's why other tribes kind of look down on them because, well, they see them as getting too friendly with humans instead of wolves. But I do like their whole jig. Like, I think Kim is really cool and like anti-fascist aspect there. It's pretty dope. Okay, so who's Cornell? He's known as Blind Prophet of the Children of Gaia, Philodox and the leader of the Winter Weasel Pack. Okay, so the Children of Gaia were, I believe, just the trying to do things the right way. Maybe a little traditionalist, but not... you know, if Cornell's like their guy, it's very much like the not actively trying to fight anything, but just resisting. What do you call it again? Civil disobedience. That kind of jazz. So Lisa is the Morning Wolf Mother. Oh wait, that's her pack. Oh wait, her tribe was the Sibarok, which was very much like specific for where she came from. So that's not something we can join. What was Daniel again? Of the Red Talons. Oh yeah, he wasn't in a tribe because he was born a wolf. That was like a difference. So Olga's for the Black Furies, so they're very much about yeah, like with basically the flip side to Cornell, where Cornell is like civil disobedience and non-violent resistance. Olga is definitely like for violent resistance and fight to the last, right? And yeah, Pat is then for the Glasswalkers, who are the city dwellers, basically. I think somewhere Glasswalker makes sense because we're not from here at all, right? And again, we are from America, and there's plenty of places in America that you don't have to be urban to be from there. So I think I'm just gonna stick with my first instinct. I'm gonna go Bonar. After getting to know all of them better, I decided to become a Bonar. Game agreed to mentor me. Only one thing remained to end the ceremony and make me a full-fledged guru. I had to join a pack. I had already sworn to the Wolf Mother. Wait, did we? It's my fate that already been tied with the Wolf Mother. I chose her as my patron and joined Olga's pack. Oh, because we had that whole thing with the Wolf Mother. Oh, I mean, that's interesting. I wonder if, like, we did something to trigger that. Huh. I don't actually know. That's quite interesting, actually. I'm trying to think back of, like, what we could have done that caused that to... Maybe it was, like, someplace we went, or just because we chose to, like, align ourselves with Olga multiple times. I'm not sure. But okay, yeah. We joined Olga's pack. Cool. According to ancient rites, Lisa painted the mystical glyph of my tribe on my sternum. It disappeared after a moment, but whenever I closed my eyes, I could feel its warm touch between my breasts. Witcher of the Bonars, Turge of the Morning Wolf Mother pack. Welcome to our set, she said solemnly. Then she howled. Serve it up for the sept! Owls rose toward the sky. They sang about ancient laws of war, status, and secrecy. I remembered only a few. Combat the worm wherever it dwells and wherever it breeds. Submit to those of higher station. Respect those beneath you. The veil shall not be lifted. Poetic term for the false assumption that the supernatural does not exist, to which the delirium reinforces. Because this is very much like the masquerade. I don't know if it's called the veil there as well, but like Vampire the Masquerade is also like this is also the one of the first laws in there that humans don't know about the fact that vampires exist, and in this case werewolves exist, and you're supposed to keep it that way. So, join the song, get a little bit of willpower back. I was a cup no more. I was ready to tell my own stories, to earn my own place in the pack, to howl my own songs. Sick. Oh, that's already chapter 6. Interesting. I assume this might be the last chapter. Wait, let's... I noticed last time. Oh yeah, we're already getting close. Wait a minute. I didn't think we would be getting that close that quickly. It was one of those blistering summer days when the asphalt melts, the grass withers, and the air smothers the... I genuinely thought that bird was coming from outside for a second there. That's a good bird sound. The grass withers and the air smothers those brave enough to step outside. Despite the heat, it felt like the whole village was at the funeral. I felt cornered. Surrounded by sweaty bodies, looking at the rosaries they clutched in their fists, there was nowhere to run. For a brief chilling moment I thought I saw Anya's face among the crowd. But no. I buried her in the barrows myself, and nobody there even knew that she was dead. It was someone else's funeral. Anya was not the reason we gathered in the churchyard. The body of a hunter had been found in the forest. The circumstances of their death were unclear. It was our doing. My doing. And the dead had tipped the scales. Since the dead had started seeing shadowy figures, their faces flickering in the corner of my eye. Were they just figments of my imagination? Or my own pack of hungry spirits, following me, waiting for my mistake? I could feel the tension seething around me. This death, this funeral had pushed the community, already wary and frightened by the recent disappearance of an activist in the forest, to the edge. The world was watching. The press had swarmed to the funeral like flies. They were reporting on how the illegal logging was a danger to both the ecosystem and human lives. The police had cordoned off their funeral and were aggressively searching and detaining any activists they noticed. It had become political. I mean, it was always political, right? Suddenly, Puszcza Białowieża had become politically charged and the hottest place to be. The hottest place to be in Poland. And it wasn't only local politicians and activists from both sides who'd caught wind of the commotion. The Minister of Environment himself had driven to Białowieża to attend the funeral. He was standing next to the priest conducting the ceremony, surrounded by police and what looked like a handful of bodyguards. The coffin went down and the crowd stirred. Everyone started lining up to throw a handful of dust on the coffin or put flowers on the grave. I found myself face to face with Bartek. Who's Bartek again? There should be another coffin here, because we both know that she's dead. He looked me in the eyes. I really liked Anya, you know? Oh wait, Bartek is like our friend that we knew from here before we came here, right? Tall, broad-shouldered guy, freckled guy from Białowieża. My ass local contact, yeah. Yeah, and Anya was definitely like flirting with him when we first met him. Don't let it get to you. Whatever happened was not your fault. He patted my arm. And I will find out the truth. I tried to play it down. I said nothing. I wished him luck. Let's not play it down. Like, this man is clearly driven. Playing it down will only make him more suspicious. But let's just say nothing. Didn't know what to say. Bartek looked me in the eyes. Funny thing. It's like all the strange things started happening as soon as you all came here. I looked over his shoulder at the crowd. It was clear that many people felt the same way that he did. And the minister knew how to use that sentiment. I listened in disbelief. As the priest handed him the mic. I thought it was an E. I was like, what the hell's the me? The like noodle things? After 30 seconds of listening to that pompous ass, I thought I would vomit. He repeated some platitudes, but it was clear that he'd only come to show his face and tighten the leash on the local logging companies. The crowd listened, silence. He was trying to escalate. It was our move, or it was also our doing. This man is trying to escalate, come on. I think we can get angry about this. I realized the conflict was only going to escalate. He was determined to push on with the logging. But with the forest on our side, we could end the logging at any time. We were ready to defend ourselves, or we were ready to negotiate. Not defend ourselves, like, this isn't a negotiation kind of term. There'd been a storm the previous night, but when the final showdown started, the sun was at its most merciless and the world was almost white with heat. The air smelled of herbs, bark and tree sap. Insects buzzed lazily in the high grass, stunned by the summer sun. We were ready for war, we were setting up the protest. Protest. I don't want to go all out violent here. That's not my position to take, and that's also not the path I want to run through. The day was stifling as we set up the protest. The whole clearing was decorated with banners and we all had our placards. Wood is the enemy of the forest was our main slogan, but there were many more. My sign conveyed anger. I wanted to protest against greed. I wrote something constructive. I don't know, like... Okay, let's think about this. My sign conveyed anger. I can understand that, but I don't really feel that for how we've been playing Maya up until now. I wanted to protest against greed. I think that makes sense. I think that's like basically the central thing of what we're doing here. Because it's clearly, you know, also with the minister coming over here and such, like, they want something and we want them to stop. I wrote something constructive. I just feel like it will be like, it will fall flat. Like, who's gonna listen to that? It's not gonna be like, you know, the minister or anybody else who's like for the logging is gonna see that and think like, oh yeah, okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. I guess we will stop the logging. So yeah, I think just the middle one makes the most sense. The Puszcza is not a commodity, declared my sign. I like that actually. You couldn't put a price tag on 200-year-old trees, but that wasn't going to stop them trying. There weren't so many of us, but everyone in the clearing knew why they were there. Puszcza was watching us. Every time a gust of wind was bringing the wet smell of the forest to my nostrils, I felt her strong, steadfast presence. She knew that we were doing everything in our power to save her. Heavy clouds were hanging low over the trees. The spirits were gathering to support us in the final moments. I could feel the immense presence of the forest, whose life was a myriad of smaller lives interconnected into one superorganism. And then I looked at us and them, who smiled bitterly, because I realized that both sides of the conflict saw that others had the sickness and themselves as the cure. The pressure was almost palpable, and tempers were flaring. The cops were gathering, or I looked at my pack. Let's look at the pack. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on who we're with, not who we're against. Everyone knows what to do, Olga asked, looking at my pack. I'll keep the security guards occupied, nodded Lisa. And I'll guard the push-chest perimeter, growled Daniel. I glanced at the weasels. We're in their positions among the protesters, as agreed. That left the cops to me. I'd kept my eyes on them, or we should just kill them all. Definitely not feeling that, but this is kind of what I get for going full rage at this point. So yeah, let's just keep our eyes on them. And we'll make sure that the activists are safe. Yeah, that's the plan, Olga nodded with a bitter expression. Okay, so now we have the other side. The cops were gathering in increasing numbers, and I noticed some SWAT teams joining them. Something was up. And we're waiting for something. Uh-oh. And I reached a boiling point when the minister arrived for a photo op. Ooh, okay. I had a bad feeling about it all. We'd attracted some attention, or we could use that. I do have a bad feeling because there's like SWAT teams around, right? I don't think there's any way I have a good feeling about this. We'd attracted some attention, or we could use that. I think we can use that. Yeah. Wait, how can we use that? Let's think about that first. Like, it also really depends on what kind of photo op. Like, probably just like a photo op of like, hey, we're taking down this forest, look at all the wealth we're bringing to the country, or something like that. How can we use that against, like showing people how shallow it is? Like, that's not gonna solve anything, because like that's already blatantly obvious for anybody who wants to see. If you don't want to see it, it's not gonna convince you. I don't know how else we could use that, like as a moment to strike at him, but I don't see how that helps. That will probably, like, if something happens to the minister, like, if it is directly us, then there's probably going to be even more police and shit storming us. If it is the forest, they could also be using that as an excuse of like, see, the forest is dangerous. We should be like making it smaller. People get lost in the forest and stuff like that. So okay, we could use that. I don't see that right now. I have a bad feeling about it all, which is true. We'd attracted some attention, but I want to get an advantage out of this. That's basically like, I want to get somewhere. Just like observing everything that's happening without doing anything, just feeling bad about it. I don't think that's gonna get us anywhere. So I'm gonna go with attracted some attention, see where that takes us. For better or for worse, we attracted a lot of attention. I knew he was in for a nasty surprise. The reporters closed in on him, shooting uncomfortable questions about the legality of the logging and his forestry policy. Yes! In hindsight, you could argue that what happened next set a chain of events in motion that had life-changing consequences for many. Well, that's good. Uh-oh. But it all started earlier, but change didn't happen just like that. But at that moment, I didn't know that. Yeah, change doesn't happen just like that. Like, there's definitely like more steps to it. So it all started earlier also, like, kind of goes with the same line of thinking. But this also means that something has already happened. The present sympathetic is definitely, I feel like that's working, like definitely helping us. Because if present sympathetic and police is unfriendly, like that could also swing public favor against whatever the government's going to be doing here. Even if they do a crackdown, maybe like especially if they do a crackdown. So, something there. At that moment I didn't know that, but change didn't happen just like that, but it all started earlier. I'm actually feeling this first one. Change didn't happen just like that. That just feels like it's going somewhere in the story where it's like, eventually nothing will change. And I don't want that. I want something to change. I don't know if I can actually get there, but we're gonna find out. No, I was wrong. It all started thousands of years earlier when the glaciers retreated. When a bird brought the first acorn to where the pushcha now grew. When the first humans decided to settle in the forest. The members of my set had already moved to their position, and I also had my part to play. The minister was bad news. I wanted to have a few words with him. It was our chance to start negotiations. I mean, he does sound like bad news. Like, having a few words with him, what's that gonna do? Like, the journalists are, like, the press is already on him. I don't think I'm gonna add anything to that. Like I could just yell at him, but especially because, like, our willpower is so low, I don't think we will have the fortitude of mind to actually, like, get anywhere talking-wise. So I'm just gonna chill on that. With him at the scene, everything will get harder, I sighed, pointing at the minister. Olga nodded. We went back to regroup, or I wasn't ready to give up. I'm not ready to give up. Oh, okay, now we're back to this choice. Okay, so that in that case, like, I don't want to start negotiations. Let's have a few words with him. Let's just see where this takes us. Just look at him. You could use a few harsh words of truth. Olga raised her eyebrow. If you think there's any sense in talking to them, now's the fucking time. She grabbed me by the elbow and literally dragged me across the clearing to where the minister and his peoples were standing. I've got this, I followed her, I thought about what to say. Full confident. Let's just go in full confident. That's... I knew what to do. I snapped at Olga. Stop treating me like a cup. Okay, that's a little... That's not what I'm... You can't do anything, just watch. Minister, minister, she yelled. You have a moment to talk about what's really going on in the forest. I caught his gaze. He looked at us coldly like we were vermin. His eyes were distinctly dark and lifeless. Like a shark, I thought suddenly. No, he said, smiling. We don't talk to terrorists. He smelled of the worm, and I'm glad I'd gladly have bitten his face off, but we had bigger fish to fry. I wrapped my arms around Olga's chest and I pulled her back before she could jump at him. Save your strength, I barked. We'll find another way. That was a weird interaction. Like, of her grabbing us, pulling us there, then us, like, pulling ourselves loose and saying, like, no, I got this. And then she's like, you can't do anything. She starts yelling at them, and then we have to hold her back? What just happened? Well, I basically just wasted my willpower on that, so I actually regret going back there. Started preparations. The activists, humans and werewolves alike, listened as we told them what happened. The atmosphere was tense. We prepared ourselves for a worst case scenario. Okay, let's move, I heard someone shout. Move it, people, move it. You know what to do. And they did. There was a lot of laughter and friendly pushing, chains clinking, and some people darted at the trees to seat themselves in the branches. Okay, well, I really would have liked to do this option, but we can't. We cannot. I helped to form the human chain. Hey, get those arms behind you. That's it. Attaboy. It hurts. Next time, do some yoga beforehand, huh? That's it, people. Open your heart so you can hold your wrists behind your back. I lock my wrists. I threaded my arms to the arms of the people to my left and right, and then grabbed my wrists behind my back. It was tight on my shoulders, hot and very sweaty. Then we waited. We sat down, one long human chain, and watched the loggers and police as they approached, and then stopped. Tried to take short breaths to avoid their stench, but it was useless. The minister looked at us with his dark, lifeless eyes. The police were regrouping and getting into formation. Their shields were ready. They were wearing masks. You could hear the unmistakable sound of a gun being cocked. Uh-oh. This is gonna go bad. Fuck, that's bad. And then the tear gas canisters started to rain down on us. The police came through the smoke like a horde of demons, kicking and beating the protesters set on the ground, yanking them away and breaking the human chain. I felt a hand grab my shoulder and I acted on reflex. I did it! Okay! Sank my teeth into a flash, my mouth filled with blood and the officer screamed. And then I felt a cold gust of wind and a heavy droplet landed on my nose. The spirits of the pushcha had answered our call. I howled at the sky, I braced myself or I closed my eyes. Okay, bracing ourselves. Okay, wait. All of these seems like reasonable options. I close my eyes is clearly gonna make us lose some rage, but I think we can use the rage right now, so kind of don't want to do that. I howl at the sky. It's like a weird thing to do right now because there's so many people looking at us, and it's like, what the fuck is she doing? But it's also kind of like a battle cry, right? This could be what's rallying the people here together to like resist. Bracing myself is one of another one of those like waiting options that I don't want to be doing. That might be a mistake. It's perfectly possible. Now I'm gonna howl. I let out a joyous howl, and seconds later the sky howled back. Suddenly, a tempestuous blast of wind almost decked us. A moment later, the heavens opened and the downpour began. Spirits had come. Got some willpower back. Lightning struck one of the harvesters and I laughed. Okay, so yeah, now it's just stop the logging. Whoa, that's a picture. Final battle. When a real fight began, the adrenaline kicked in and the world split into freeze frames. I charged at the loggers or I changed? Okay, if we are actually like fighting right now, like I guess we're past negotiations, right? At this moment, we're just like making sure this logging operation is done for. So I guess we will just change into the war form. That just makes the most sense right now. Greenhouse. Yeah, once again, some more like body shifting. I'm not gonna read that out, but I am an 8-foot tall killing machine. Charge at the loggers. See a young man in work overalls staring at me with a terrified expression, an axe raised in his hands. Tear his head over or push him away. Sorry dude, but I can't lose this willpower, I'm gonna need it. Fuck, that feels bad. But yeah, this is kind of the path we went down on, so I guess. Yes. I change the cops. Cops are running our way, shouting orders, batons raised, faces red with anger. Kill them or make them run. Yeah, again, like, I don't think I can use this I can, like, spend all my willpower right now. I think I'll probably need it at the end to, like, tie this together, or at least that's what I'm hoping for, so. SWAT. Yep. Like, if anything, I should have used it at the start to, like, make sure the loggers survive, because they're not the main enemy. You know, the police and the SWAT are more so. I heal. Okay, a SWAT team operates in full riot gear, their faces grim behind their visors, their guns ready to pepper us with rubber bullets. I heal, I attack the enemy and make them stop, or I howl for help. I attack the enemy, like I can lose the health, so it sounds fine actually. I hurl myself at the enemy, they fight back. They hurt me, but I hurt them more. Look around. I look around the battlefield, all is good. The cops are retreating, soon the whole clearing will be ours. It's time for the final blow. I chase the retreating minister, I lead a charge at the harvesters, or I go back to save my friends. Ooh, that's also pretty good, that last one. But I think we should end this. I think, like, getting rid of the minister is not gonna do anything. I've already like talked about what my feelings are there. Like, getting rid of the minister will only fuel more hatred towards the forest. Well then again, you know, we're already in this deep. I'm not sure if there's any like preventing that at this point, but getting rid of the harvesters will stop what we're doing here. That is going to stop the logging right now, and if any more come, we'll deal with them then. But for now, that solves the problem. Or I go back to save my friends. I think I'm going for the harvesters. I'm just going for what, like, I like this idea, but also like I like the going back to save my friends, but also I don't see them in any danger right now. Well, you know, it's also the like we didn't really look we are not enough current in the form to be noticing these kind of things. Yeah, I'm just going to go for harvesters. Like, consequences be damned. That's how I've been playing this playthrough, right? Storm turned the earth to mud, and the heavy logging equipment was sucked into the liquefying soil. It would take days to free the machines. The fires from the Molotovs have died down, and the harvesters stand there, defaced but undamaged. The loggers and police form a cordon around the machines. They look like giant insects, but they are just machines. Insanely expensive human-made tools. But every tool has its purpose, and their purpose is to devour the forest quickly, efficiently, and without a second thought. It's time to act. I'm fed up with overthinking it. I am Gaia's soul, and it's time to do what the spirits demanded. Start to kill, I attack the machines, or I roar at the loggers. Okay, I've already regretted not doing this earlier, so I think I am just going to use this willpower to get rid of the loggers. They're not the main problem. They're just the they're just the workers doing their job. Now, in a way, you can also say that about the police as well, but really yep, no, I don't know. This is actually hard. This is also this game got way more political in there than I was expecting it to be, but well, guess it makes sense. I'm just gonna do this. I just hope it will have a positive effect in the long run. The cops I start running, the loggers grip their axes and chainsaws, the cops raise their shields, blades bounce off of me, and I push my way through the crowd. I don't stop until I reach the machines. They tower over me and their stench is overwhelming. I deliver the message. I face the logger's leader. I reach out with my claws and, careful not to break him, caress his face. Stay away from the pusher, I whisper, and I smell his piss. Okay! They drop their axes and run away. I hear howls rising into the sky and I howl with them. Oh. Okay, it ends there. Interesting. I'm very curious what we have actually accomplished here, because it doesn't feel like we did a lot. The sun was setting, everything was red. The logging site was littered with corpses, a mass of entangled bodies. Dead people, dead trees, dead machines. And in the middle of it all, the guru. The middle of it all was us, the guru, panting and covered in blood. Our patron stood beside us, the weasel on Cornell's arm, the ash-grey wolf beside Olga. The logging had stopped. It was quiet, the logging had stopped. We'd won, it was an epic battle, or I was bone tired. I guess I can be happy for a moment at least. There was no one left to fight. We'd won. It was exhilarating. The feeling of victory was like nothing I'd ever felt before, and I wanted more. I knew there would be more battles. The humans were terrified, you couldn't kill greed. Very ready for that. This sounds a little bit too antagonistic towards just humans, which is definitely not where I want to be going. You couldn't kill greed. That sounds spot on. Were we ready for that? That is a real concern, but right now I just want to be happy about what we did accomplish and not immediately worry about the next obstacle, right? We'd stopped this attempt, but the logging industry wasn't going to give up. Wood was money, and there would be more people and more machines sooner or later. Even though the press hadn't broadcast our faces, people were sure to talk. We had to lay low for a while. We gathered in the clearing in which I'd first woken up as a guru. Lisa stood in the middle of the clearing, the wolf and the weasel by her side. Now, she said, looking at Cornell and Olga, you two, you need to solve this, today. Olga nodded. There was satisfaction in her eyes, the white shining in her blood-covered face. We won, she said, even though you tried to stop us, Cornell. That night, we planned the future. It was long and full of hope. Olga and Cornell reached an agreement. That's good. Olga talked with Cornell for a very long time, and late that night, they asked us to join them. They decided they wanted to lead our pack together, as a leading pair, just like in real wolf packs. Lisa and our patrons made sure that we did right by Guru law, and the sad matters were resolved. But more had happened that summer. Okay, so, the issues in the Sept are are resolved. That's good. Because that's also like not the first dream that we had. The first dream is just like what actually happened when we became a werewolf for the first time. But the second dream we had was about the patrons, the weasel and the wolf, that were fighting, and we were like, they can't do anything if they're fighting. We have to like make them work together. So it looks like that was definitely something I was going for, and it looks like that is actually, actually did that. So I'm pretty happy about that. Didn't cover everything that happened that summer though. So some consequences would have to unravel with time. Daniel introduced me to the wolves. To the wild wolf packs living in the forest. We would spend a lot of time with them searching for the lost guru cubs we hoped were out there. Bartek was alive. Despite everything that happened, Bartek managed to see another day. After finishing university, he moved to Warsaw and escaped his father's influence. We didn't keep in touch. What was all still ahead of me, for now. The first chapter of my new life is coming to an end. This sounds very much like a bit of a like, where are they now? Kind of like epilogue. I mean, it is the epilogue, like it did say that in like the chapter title. But also like, we barely spent any time with Bartek. Because we basically, like on that first day, we said like, okay Anya, like Anya needed to go to the toilet and we were waiting for Bartek and he didn't show up, so we were like, okay, we'll see Bartek later. And later we met him like once, but we didn't really talk. That was basically, then we had a little interaction of like, Anya and Bartek seemed to like each other a little bit. But other than that, we didn't speak to him at all. So I have no idea what his father's influence is referring to. But yeah, okay. I come here because of the forest. Got some willpower back. Oh, I understood the forest. That's one of the goals that we had. Yeah, goal. I'd come to Białowieża because the Puszcza had called me. I'd heeded that call. I intended to do so in the future as well. But I loved the Puszcza and I knew she was watching over me. Okay, cool. Your story is almost over. This might be a good time to take a last look at your character sheet. Okay, let's do that. So yeah, Maya Wichura Borodic. Oh wait, that's actually the pronunciation. Vikura. Alright, W is like pronounced like a V. Vikura. Cool. Okay. So yeah, nothing really interesting there. So yeah, our rank is Clyde, a younger rune instead of any significant rank. Okay, that makes sense. Tribe is the Bonars. Alright, they stand for the rights of the poor and the disenfranchised everywhere, making their homes in favelas, squats, and camps. Hated by the other tribes because they act like tame dogs, eating the scraps of the human table. Yes, yeah, that's what I mentioned when we were choosing that. So yeah, our glory, honor, our wisdom is pretty high. I don't exactly remember the what these stats were again. Our glory, I believe, was just like basically how much of an impact we made on like wolf society, how well known we are. Honor is how closely we stuck to the codes, like the Guru law and such. And wisdom, I don't actually remember what wisdom entails exactly in this context. Yeah, cool. So the wolf is loyal, the weasel is cautious, probably because the wolf is loyal. Anya is dead, which, yeah, we did that. Bartek is neutral. Okay, so that was like our local contact that we didn't really speak to. Daniel is sympathetic. That's the like guy that's also in our is it called a pack? Yeah, that's in our pack. Family, it's complicated, yeah, because we basically learned very little about our family. We learned basically that they were from a bad tribe, essentially, a tribe that was, but like I believe Kim had like a really really good description of this, but like basically werewolf supremacist, which is a big yikes. That's basically everything we learned about our family. Like we didn't like basically when we learned that we were like, I don't want to know more about this. Like fuck that. So okay, yeah. Kim is sympathetic. That was the they were the Bonars. Yeah. Cornell is friendly, so he was the So yeah, Cornell and Olga are both friendly. Lisa's neutral, which is interesting because we like studied under her and I felt like that we had a bit of a connection, but you know, whatever. Can't be friends with everybody. I think she disliked some choices that we had in basically the first collision with like the police and the loggings. So yeah, I think that's why she's neutral. Pat is also sympathetic. Pusha's loyal, police and friendly, but sympathetic. Whatever. Okay, yeah. Okay, well there's not much more on our character sheet, so let's just continue with the epilogue and finish this playthrough, I guess. The night after the battle, I had a dream. It later turned out to be my last one about the forest. I sat by the fire. Oh, oops. I sit by a campfire in the forest. The wolf mother emerges from the shadows. It is time, my child, she says. It's time to run together again, to avenge my stolen cubs. The smell of ash and tears becomes stronger. You are the rage of the Pusha, she growls, and you know what we need to do. Look at the flames. I look at the roaring flames, and in the flames I see the future. A world on fire. The end. Huh, that's an interesting ending. You have finished Heart of the Forest. Cubs gather around the fire and listen to the story of Maya Borodich, known among the Guru as Vikura of the Bonar. This is just my pronunciation. I need to like really think about it every time. Of the Bonars, Turge of the Morning Wolf Mother Peg. She was wise and her prophecies accurate. Maya won her first battle and stopped the harvesters, but that was just the beginning of the war. The Pusha was safe, at least for a while. This is kind of hard to read. The first protest against the logging of the Białowieża forest took place in 2016. This game was loosely inspired by those events. All characters and events depicted in this game were entirely fictitious. Okay, so yeah, that is definitely like... I mean that makes sense with like how political it actually got, and also like definitely referred to like the, you know, the current political situation in Poland. So it makes sense that it is actually like loosely based on real events. That doesn't quite surprise me, but that does make sense. So yeah, that's just it. We're gonna go to like main screen now, or we're gonna get some credits. Would love some credits. Okay, well that I can't believe it actually jump scared me again. I think it was with the same face as well. Sorry, I just lost the video for a second there. I needed to kind of like pull down that music. It's awesome music. This is the song that's currently playing. Also, I'm sorry that I'm very silent, but this song is extremely my shit, so I kind of want to listen to it. basically the exact opposite of what we had at the end of like Jurassic World, where that was this credits and it was completely silent, and I was just like, I can't fill all of this time. And this time it's like, I don't want to talk through this song. Oh, it's just repeating now, I think. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's just get through it. Get back to the like main menu, and then I'll talk about the game and what I thought of it. I also find it really cool that the World of Darkness is doing so many games right now. I'll also get into that, like, the moment when we don't have this song screaming in our ears anymore. Like, again, I don't want that to sound negative towards the song, because this is extremely my kind of thing. The wonderful Unity engine. Let's remember, that's the name thing. Oh yeah, and that's it for the song and for the credits. That was not that big of a team. Like there was obviously like quite a bunch of writers, but and I guess that's the good thing about like visuals are relatively easy to make because you don't need a lot of like programming, right? You can make do with like just a couple of programmers to make stuff work. And although it is made in Unity, so there's definitely quite some stuff you need to do. Unity doesn't have a lot of like, it's not made for this kind of stuff. So you do have to make quite a bit of it yourself. But yeah, that was really cool. I definitely enjoyed that game. As I said, like it kind of surprised me in how like cutting and political it got at times, and definitely like with some of the choices I was like, that's quite a choice you're putting in front of me right now. But that's also what makes it very cool, right? That's like this game asked, like pretty much immediately asked real questions, and it got to some very real shit, and I definitely enjoyed that. So I think that's very cool. Like I think overall this game is just very good. I'm extremely curious about other paths that we didn't take. It's more of a like, it's not like where like at the end of Coffee Talk, for example, it specifically told us you've missed stuff. We had an epilogue that basically raised more questions than it answered. So in that case, I mean, I haven't continued that game yet because that didn't really have the time at this point. But that definitely feels like a game where I want to play more just to find out what happens. Like if you do more, if there is going to be more information about other stuff. This game is much more about like you took a single journey through this game that you could, and you can just take okay, well, I had a sentence that got away from me. But you can take multiple journeys through it. And I think that's very cool. Like, we could play this again, or, for example, like, if people watching this really like this game, you can get it yourself, and you can play something, and it could be, like, very different from what I did. Like, the big story points are obviously going to be the same, but your ending could be entirely different. Like, it definitely seems like the two big endings that you can get are either, doing what I did, which is like go more Olga's route and, have an actual all-out battle at the end. Or you can go more Canal's route and like try to negotiate, try to actually get them to stop this logging, which may be a more permanent solution. So I also think that's very interesting, and it could also lead to some other interesting aspects of it. But yeah, overall, this game definitely feels like you can replay it, but you don't have to. Like, I have a journey right now, and I'm pretty satisfied with our journey. Like, it's definitely like, stuff like Anya dying, I don't know if you can prevent that. But overall, like, what we accomplished, I also don't like the amount of bloodshed we had to do at the ending. Like, normally in video games, I'm much more pacifist than this, but I was kind of feeling like the werewolf aspect of this, like building that inner rage and working with that. I just wanted to explore that because I thought that's something that makes this game really cool. That's what makes it werewolf, right? So I kind of wanted to explore that, but it also definitely led to like a path that I normally wouldn't take. Which, again, in and of itself is interesting. Like, this game pushed me to do something that I normally wouldn't do. So that's cool. That's just cool. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the journey we had. Also, really enjoyed the ending song. I'm just like, I know I talk about like liking songs a lot, but that one was dope. That one was really cool. So okay, that's it about this guy. Oh yeah, what I wanted to mention, what I also mentioned, like when the credits were rolling, I'm really interested in that, like the World of Darkness that contains both like Werewolf the Apocalypse and also Vampires the Masquerade and some more books that I don't actually know the name of. I'm not that big into like World of Darkness. This is basically the first World of Darkness game I've played. They've also have at least 2 Vampire the Masquerade visual novels that are quite similar to this one. I did play one of them for a bit, but didn't get to finish it. Don't actually know why. If something came between it or something, I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I did play a bit of that, and I also very much enjoyed it. It's definitely like a different vibe. It's just like it makes clear, like I've played like the start of it, and even though they work from very similar things, because both of the games are basically like introducing you as like, you know, vampire in one, werewolf is the other, but you can definitely see the difference in vibe between just the world of Werewolf the Apocalypse, which is very much like spiritual nature. No, and for example, like just resisting against order, or order is maybe not even like, because the werewolves themselves are ordered as well. It's resisting the worm is really what it came down to in the end. I didn't know that, but like the whole idea of the I forgot the other ones. Yeah, the Weaver, the Worm, and the Wild with like a Y. Those were the 3 things that you had. I didn't know that, so that was an interesting view into that. But yeah, like even though the games follow similar story in the sense of like you're a normal human who gets introduced to these new worlds, which of course, you know, makes sense in systems like these that are about, you know, the Veil and the Masquerade, about like a whole secret world where normal people don't know anything about, but that's, you know, basically living right beside us. It makes sense for that kind of story to be like, you know, oh, you were a normal human, because we are. And then you get introduced to this world to what do I want to say? Yeah, so the game also has an excuse to explain all these things to you, because you as a normal human wouldn't know what's going on and what this is all about. So yeah, this kind of story just makes sense, and I definitely like think it's the right choice. I might come back to that vampire game, try to finish that one. Maybe start over, because I don't know if I remember enough from the start. I didn't play it that long enough. It was like a couple months ago, so maybe. I probably want to play it on stream, because I've already started it, and usually, like, you know, basically every game I play here is blind. So yeah, but again, I definitely like the fact that the World of Darkness, like I said, as I was also saying, I don't know much about the World of Darkness. I'm basically introduced to this very recently. Like, this is basically the first game I played fully. That other one is like the actual first game I played, and I only played like an hour or 2 of that. There was also a I want to say D&D campaign, but it's not D&D, it's World of Darkness. It was a Vampire the Masquerade campaign run by, if you don't know, Loading Ready Run. I absolutely love Loading Ready Run. They're basically a group of like, what they do streaming. They are a comedy group from where they started, but they also started streaming over the years. Like, they've existed for like, I don't know how long anyway. And I absolutely love all of their content, but they also do like tabletop RPG streams in a series called Dice Friends, and they had, as I said, a short campaign set in the world of Vampire the Masquerade, and that was basically what convinced me to really give these games a try, because I was like, the concept of the World of Darkness is cool. If you are interested in like that campaign, as I said, it's from Loading Ready Run. It's on their main YouTube channel. The series where they play TTRPGs is called Dice Friends, And this specific campaign was called Not a Drop to Drink, I believe. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go right ahead. I can definitely recommend it. I thought it was very cool. It is quite short, but it does give you like a nice introduction. And it allows for some space to maybe do more with that. So I'm very curious to see if they're gonna do more with that. But yeah, as I said, I'm very new to the World of Darkness, and I've definitely enjoyed like a couple of things I've seen. And I'm also probably gonna take a look in like the actual TTRPG system, like how it works and what there's to it, and also the different books, because as I've said before, like you have, for example, Vampire the Masquerade. That's basically one way to play it. That's like one book of it, and then you play vampires. And Werewolf the Apocalypse is another one, and it has like I assume the systems are going to be fairly similar, but they also have differences, because every one of them basically deals with like a central theme. I don't quite know. I don't quite remember. Like Jacob, who was the DM for that campaign, had some really good explanations about the differences and what the theme was for the ones that he mentioned. I don't know if he mentioned all of them, but definitely at least Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse. And I do not remember them. I wish I did. But yeah, there are definitely like stylistic differences, but I assume they will play fairly similar, just because of like how it works. At least these two, because they're basically have the same central theme of like a hidden world beyond our own, and then just with the specifics of werewolves and vampires in their own systems. I'm also gonna take a look at like the other systems in there, because I basically don't know any of the other ones, at least not by name. So I'm gonna take a look at those, like what even is out there. I wonder if I can actually run a like an actual campaign of one of these systems at one point. It is pretty dark, and most of like the groups I play with are a little bit more lighthearted, but we can do dark as well. I mean, I've also played like a horror campaign, which you know, I think it's definitely possible. But yeah, I'm just gonna take a look at these systems, because they do seem interesting. And yeah, I just really love the fact that it introduced me to this world, basically like this real new marketing push, essentially, from the World of Darkness team by putting out these games. I also believe, like, I don't know if it's just because I now learned about it through content creators that I already enjoyed, but I also get the feeling like there's just a lot more World of Darkness stuff out there now. Like they're really like trying to push like campaigns and the like. So I think that's very cool, and I can't wait to see more of it, honestly, because I've been enjoying what I've seen so far, and I've definitely enjoyed this game in particular that we've streamed. Well, that I've streamed and you've been watching. So yeah, overall, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of Darkness, I really liked it, and if you liked it as well, yeah, go take a look at it. It's on Steam. That's where I got it. I don't know if it's where I got it. No, I definitely have it on Steam. I also, I think I got it through Humble Bundle. It's also definitely on GOG, because actually that was a thing. Like, I don't know if it's changed now, but at least when I was looking at buying this game, oh yeah, wait, I definitely got it through a Humble Bundle in the end. But I already had this game on like my wishlist. I was already looking at it because I was already interested. And the thing was, Steam didn't have a demo, but GOG does. So if you want to like just try out the first chapter or something, or like the start of this game, go check out GOG, because there's a demo available there. Maybe there's also one on Steam right now. I don't actually know. I haven't checked because obviously I own the game right now. So I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, if you did like it, go check it out. It's cool. Other than that, yeah, well, I mean, we're not even an hour and a half into this stream, but we did finish this game, and I kind of told myself to, just play until the end and let that be that. So yeah, we're there now. I think that's going to be the end of the stream. So yeah, first of all, I want to thank everybody very much for watching, and I'm gonna probably thank you again at some point, because that's usually how rambly these endings get. But yeah, first of all, wow, I'm genuinely blanking on like what I normally do. during the end parts of these. So, okay, yeah. First of all, let's just get into that. I have been thinking about this, and I've decided to stop doing regular Wednesday evening streams. Mostly because I still like streaming. I still like doing it, and like I think the evenings are like a great place to play games like this that are a little darker and a little more casual than the games I play on Saturday, which up until now have been a little bit more involved. Especially Hollow Knight was very active, but Iconfell as well. Like there's a lot going on there. And I also want to make very clear, I'm definitely going to be continuing Iconfell on Saturdays. Well, it might be on different days some weeks, because that's just how my life works, and I don't think anybody really relies on my schedule right now. If you are, let me know. do let me know, because at the moment I genuinely feel like I shouldn't stick to it too. Like I like having a schedule just because then at the very least like I have something to work towards, and I can always think like, oh, next Saturday I'm going to have another stream and I have to like have a game ready, or at least I'll be playing actually these games once per week. So for now, I'm definitely going to be continuing them at the very least until I finish Iconfell, and then I'll see. But I'll probably be continuing them after that as well. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, for now the Wednesday streams are going to go, because 2 days in the week, while it is very nice to play games multiple times, I then definitely feel like it's taking a bit too much time commitment as of now. And there's actually been quite a bunch of things I wanted to do, in the rest of the week. And you would say you're only streaming 2 times in a week. Like how much more could you have to do? Turns out a lot. Like the past week especially, like was just very busy suddenly. And part of that is also because things are opening up again. Like lockdown is slowly lifting, so that's also definitely helping. That making me do other stuff outside of sitting behind my computer and inside again. Which, by the way, love that. So that's also definitely part of it. But yeah, I was just suddenly very busy, and then just like having committed to like 2 days of streaming in a week just felt like a lot. And I also felt like for like the past couple of weeks, I've also had games that outside of streaming that I really wanted to play, that I was really that I was really excited about. That's the word I was looking for. And not all games are games that I want to be streaming, because like for example now I'm playing Fallout 3 off stream, because that's just something that takes so long. I really just want to be able to play that whenever I can. Like if I can get an hour in somewhere, I'll start it up, do some stuff, and just log off again. At least I don't have to like plan for it, like, oh, I'm gonna be streaming for like at least 2 hours right now. Well, today it's not gonna be 2 hours either, but at the very least, like I don't want to stream that game. I just want to like enjoy that, be with my own thoughts in that game, because that's really the reason why I'm playing it. Anyway, this is not the point of what I was trying to say at all. There's just been a lot of games that I wanted to play outside of streaming, and that I've just been enthusiastic about. And then actually streaming, like having committed to this, and especially if like the rest of the week is busy, if the rest of the week is busy as well, it just kind of got in the way of that. So yeah, I just kind of want to like go back to streaming once a week again. Basically see how that goes for like a while, because we'll be going on with Iconfell for a while yet. Because I think we're about like the halfway point of that game, maybe slightly further, but there's definitely more than enough Iconfell to enjoy. And honestly, I'm thankful for that, because Iconfell was dope. Is dope. I really love Iconfell as well. So yeah, now that we finish this game on Wednesday, I am going to stop regular Wednesday streaming, and I might pick like another evening when I feel like it to play more a game like this. Like I actually I had thought about, as I said, I thought about this to like drop the Wednesday streams for a bit, and eventually like I came to the conclusion like, yeah, I want to try this. And then actually this evening I was looking through old pictures, and one of them was from the LGBT video game exhibition in a museum in Germany that I went to like 2 years ago or something. That was cool, by the way. I was so, like, I mean, I went to Berlin for that, basically specifically. I also enjoyed the rest of Berlin, don't get me wrong, like, I hadn't been in Berlin in a long time, so I enjoyed all of it, but basically that was the reason for the trip. And I enjoyed the hell out of that. But one of the games that was there was Butterfly Soup. I don't know if you know that game, but it's on itch.io. Might also be on Steam. I don't actually know. I bought it on itch.io. Basically, as soon as I came back, which again is 2 years ago or something, and I saw like a picture of me. I saw like a picture I took of that part of the exhibition where Butterfly Soup was included, and I was just like, damn, I've never finished that game. And I really want to. And like these Wednesday streams again are perfect because it's also a visual novel. Like I wanted to say much like this, not much like this, because it's just like, you know, I don't want to say happy per se, but definitely like more cheerful, just gay romance. So yeah, definitely very much not like this game, and also it doesn't have any like other game mechanics. It's just reading a story, and maybe you get to make some choices along the way, you know? True old visual novels. So yeah, I never actually finished Butterfly Soup, and I really wanted to, and seeing that picture made me like feel it again, like, oh damn, I should really finish that. And oh wait, like if I finish Heart of the Forest tonight, that will be the perfect follow-up game. Or like, not necessarily follow-up for this, but just like the perfect game to play next. And I was like, am I going to like do that and then decide if I want to stop Wednesday streaming? And I was just like, I don't know. I can just say like I'm not going to be doing this regularly on Wednesday. And maybe if next week, I'm actually like, technically I have vacation next week, but I might be out for the count for quite a bit of it. So I don't know how much I'll be streaming actually. Which is, wait, that's also something I wanted to mention, but I'll get back to that in a second. But for example, if I have like a week where there's just like 3 evenings free and I feel like, oh yeah, I could be streaming 3 of these evenings, then I can just do that and maybe finish Butterfly Soup in 3 days instead of 3 weeks. We've been playing this for 3 weeks, right? Yeah, we have. So yeah, I kind of want to go back to that. I definitely still want to be going for at least once a week for the foreseeable future. And we'll see how that goes, because at the end of the day, you know, I do all of this for fun. That's all it is. All of this was to make me play more games, and I have. And there's also just other hobbies I want to pick up again. Like, I basically haven't watched any series since I started streaming. I haven't read any books for like quite a while, and I actually got into like reading a bit more like in the like past week. So want to keep that going actually. So again, all of these things take time, and I have to create some time somewhere. So yes, in the end, that means that our regular Wednesday stream will be gone, and obviously I will update the schedule and such for all of that. But yeah, Saturday streams, or whenever they will be in my weekend, will still be going on at the very least for as long as Iconfell lasts, because I definitely want to be finishing Iconfell, and I also want to be finishing non-stream because I've just been enjoying that a whole lot. Excuse me. So yeah, then what I said about next week. Next week, there's actually two things, like both health reasons. One of them is I'm getting vaccinated. That will be my first vaccination, and I will also have like something else. Doesn't matter what. But basically, I don't know how I'll feel next week. Like if I feel up to streaming, so I'll actually have to see if like next week Saturday stream can continue. I'm genuinely not sure. We'll just see. I'll let you know. As always, all those kinds of announcements and any announcements of new games I play or changes to the schedule, so obviously, you know, the big change is coming up there as well, I put on my Twitter. It's a Twitter dedicated to specifically this stream and announcements regarding to that, nothing else. It's called, the name is, wow, I genuinely blanked on the name there. It's called Jozeevis Streams. It's not difficult. How did I forget that? If you're watching on Twitch, you can find it in the About page. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find it in the description. Also, as I mentioned, I have a YouTube where I put like the full unedited VODs of these games, of any games that I stream. Because Twitch deletes them after a while. I wanted to keep them around somewhere, so they are on my YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, you can also find that in my About page. It's also in my bio on Twitter. And if you're watching on YouTube, first of all, thank you. Thanks to everybody on Twitch as well, of course. I've already thanked you. No, don't kid yourself. I will thank you again because I've just been rambling for like at least 10 minutes right now. I guess I just like rambling to like a microphone. Maybe I should just like have a rambling stream. That's actually the thing. Like I mentioned, I was playing I'm going into a tangent again. I mentioned I was playing Fallout. I actually have feelings about Fallout that I could be sharing. But just so that could be a thing. Well, I'll see if I'll actually get to that. Maybe I'll just like ramble to myself off stream. That's also very much a possibility. That's basically the default right now. What was I actually saying? Okay, I mentioned the YouTube. I mentioned the Twitter. Oh, yeah. If you are on YouTube, I stream all of these games that you see here live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Jozeevis. And, as you just heard, I won't be streaming on Wednesdays anymore. But I will be streaming on Saturdays. And I will be continuing Iconfell for anybody. Oh, wait. Not Iconfell. Econfell. We learned this last time. I've already forgotten about it. Damn, this is like one scatterbrained ending of a stream. And I hope nobody has to suffer through this. If you are suffering through this, I appreciate you. I mean, if you've watched the stream, I already appreciate you. I doubly appreciate you. So yeah, that's it for all the socials. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Got all them. Got that good. I've thanked everybody for watching. I talked about next week, which, is kind of up in the air until I know how I feel. So yeah, other than that, everybody on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Everybody on Twitch, thank you very much for watching. Everybody on Twitter, how are you hearing me right now? Thanks, I guess? Cool. Sure, I accept this. But yeah, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna be going again, so we will be changing to this screen. Oh, that was so smooth. Nobody saw that the game minimized again. Oh wait, that also like cut out the audio. I didn't even think about that. I had my headset off because, as I said, I can't actually hear myself talk with this headset on. It genuinely came in today, so it's still a little what do you call it? Stiff. It's very stiff around the ear, so I genuinely can't hear anything I say. But that will go away with some time. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Hey, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna stop this stream before I start rambling even more. Bye-bye.